Okay. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to another 1 Million Cups, Brownsville. We're going to get started for today. Okay. Okay, just a little reminder of what 1 Million Cups is and what the mission is. 1 Million Cups works towards creating a consistent educational experience for each 1 Million Cups presenter nationwide, while also highlighting uniqueness and value proposition in each local startup community. Just a little reminder also, we are already on the map for the Southwest region. We are the newly 1 Million Cups community down in Brownsville, obviously. Some key pillars about 1 Million Cups. These are not pitches, they're presentations, or as we like to call them, conversations. We want to create authentic connections, not networking. We run for the community and by the community, and we are radically and intentionally inclusive. A little bit about our program. It's held every Wednesdays at 9 a.m. We have 2 presenters, 6 minutes each, with 20 minutes of Q&A for a chance for the audience to have a conversation with our presenters. And then if you guys are interested in being a presenter or a sponsor, please contact us. The link to present is on the screen. And if you want to be a sponsor for our coffee and keep us caffeinated on Wednesdays, please contact us. And today is International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day to all the women present. And because we are celebrating Women's Day, we have 2 very special women presenting today from our community. We have Ms. Pilar Caudillo. She is an international company that has landed here in the Valley. And Ms. Lorena Montiel, she is also bringing us our local coffee this morning. And again, the coffee today is brought by 956 Coffee. So you all enjoy. And okay, so at this time, we're going to start with our presentation. So if you guys can please silence your phones in respect for our presenters. And Ms. Pilar, you are up.
Thank you very much. So my name is Pilar Caudillo, and I am the founder of Pico Telecom. So I would like to share my story and my experience with you. Will we have the presentation? Thank you. Okay, so I started my experience as an entrepreneur 25 years ago with a very difficult project for me because it was meant to be a cellular system installed within a very important building in Mexico. So because of the earthquakes, we had no tall buildings in Mexico City. So this was the first one. A 55-floor building owned by a Canadian company. So we started convincing them to install a system that will allow them to be able to talk through a cell phone all over the building, even in the parking lots. So it took us around five years to convince them and to install the whole building there. So we were successful in 4 years, but we struggled a lot around that time. So when we were two years and we had a lot of money invested there, we struggled and we were deciding if we were going to continue with the project. And that's where we reached the point of having one of the CEOs of Nextel's company, Nextel cellular company, he was there in the restaurant at the top of the building, and he was not able to talk with his phone. So he contacted his CTO and he asked him, why can't I use my phone? So he realized that they had no equipment installed there, and that's when we were able to have them connected in our building, and we were at the moment successful in being able to have the other cellular companies within our system. And from there, we started having also contacts from other building owners that they wanted to have a system like that in their building. So my advice there is that you need to believe in yourself. At some point, you will not be able to convince the people and your customers sometimes of your ideas. So it is very important that you continue fighting for your project. And also you need to find the right partners, because it is very important also that sometimes you will need help from other people to be able to continue with your project. Also, you need to have some paths and some options for you to be able to reach your goals. For example, for us, having the equipment manufacturers waiting for the payments for the equipment, that was very important also. Or having the building owners believing in us and not telling us to pay, for example, for the rent of the space or something like that. So it is very important sometimes that you have your economics very well known, as you will need to continue your project. And also you need to consider that being an owner of a company, you need to work harder. That's very important. Well, at the end of that project, we were able to have 9 systems installed, more than the first one, and we were able to sell the company, or not the company only, but the projects. So that's when we decided that we needed to do something different. And this is when we started thinking of coming to Texas and start a new company here. And this is where we are right now. We created Pico Telecom. We started 2 years ago in the Valley. We have participated twice in the Startup Texas pitch, where the second time we were second place. And we think that we will continue pushing to be the first place and be awarded of the grants. Also, we have participated in the I-Corps. That's the help that I think that you need to have. The Kaufman project, Kaufman program, and the I-Corps programs, those are very important tools that you need to have, because at the moment, for us, we are not able to, we are in the process of understanding the market here in the US, how you do business here in the US. So that has been very important. Being able to have the help of Linda and Julio from UTRGV, that I think that we have been very successful because of them and because of the opportunities that we have had here in the Valley. I wanted to tell you also that we didn't start it at the beginning here at Brownsville. We started in San Antonio, and then we were able to get the contact from Linda and Julio, and this is where we decided to have our house and our office. We will have our office here in Ridge, so we are very happy about that. Right now, we have been trying to get some projects here going on. when we started, we proposed the same projects as we did in Mexico for cellular coverage. We haven't been able to be successful there. I don't know if because they don't understand the business model. We propose, for example, to have a cellular coverage in Pain Arena, and we haven't been able to convince them. So that's the reason I'm putting in there. We haven't been able, and we haven't been successful. We presented the second time in the Startup Texas pitch, the iBed, there's a medical bed that we are continuing pushing to be able to be successful. But I think that it's a difficult market. The medical market, it's a little bit difficult and tough. So we need to continue to push and, as I mentioned, find some paths to be able to be successful. And I am sure that we will be, but we need to continue pushing. But with two projects, we have been successful, and this is being able to provide the IT services here in the bridge. So we have helped them and found the opportunity to help the building to be able to connect and have the IT services within here. And we are very excited to tell you that we are going to have the first data center here in the bridge, and you will be able to look at the services that we can provide here, knowing that data is a lot. Well, we are having a lot of data and a lot of capacity needed for computers and for the information that we all are producing, and our cars are producing, and the things that are connected are producing. So here you will be able to have the rack space needed for the computers and for the information that will be produced and is being produced by the companies here in the Valley. So this will be the first data center in the Valley. So we are proud to have it here in the bridge. So in all your projects, you need to have a time limit and a money limit also, to be able to know when you need to stop or you need to continue, or you can continue if you have some help about the projects. So for the path forward for us, we will, and we are doing considering talking to the experts and the help that we can have here in the Valley, and we are having the help from I-Corp's programs and Kaufman. We are using that knowledge that we have had for our projects. And of course, for me, knowing that my family and the employees that we have right now, or we will have in the future, will rely on our effort and job creation. That's very important for us to be able to help the community, and this is our commitment with the community. If our projects are successful, we will create jobs, and maybe for the IBET also in the future, we will implement a plant here to be able to produce the bed, maybe in conjunction with Mexico, with the border, because we are near the border. We will manufacture the bed here in the Valley. So we are positive that we will continue our path here and be successful. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So you're part of the data center here, or what are you involved in the data center?
Well, we are part with DCIC, part of the data center that you will be able to visit if you have time. In the second floor, we have a room that has rack space, and it's not a big center. The data centers, as I don't know if you know, are tier 1, tier 2. So based on the services that we can provide and the security of the data, and also the backup of the energy and the internet services, we are offering right now a tier 2 data center that will be able to allocate equipment to be able to have a backup, for example, of, it could be for any company that would like to have a backup or information near, closer to their facilities. So the rack space will be available for any company to install their equipment here in the E-Bridge, in the second floor.
So Pilar, talk to me a little bit about, as a female entrepreneur, what has been your biggest challenge trying to either enter a market or just the overall journey of being an entrepreneur, and now that we're celebrating today, you guys share this.
Well, it's a very good question, Linda, because for us being a woman, it's always difficult that all the men believe that we will be able to commit. Especially when I started the first business, I had small kids, and they were like, "Are you a mom and an entrepreneur? That's not possible." And it is possible. It is possible because your family needs to support you. Your kids need to support you and believe in you. It's a family effort that will be able to give you something for yourself. Because I think that maybe most of our moms and grandmoms, they only rely on the kids' success, and at the end, they didn't have something of what you do as a woman and what success you can have. So it is very important, but it's very difficult to have the community believe in you. And I think that the market is, or the community is changing, because now we have, I think for our generation, we have proof that we can do it. But it has been very difficult. For the next generation, it's going to be easier. You're younger, but for us, we struggled a lot. I remember my dad telling me, "Why do you need to work? You're married, so you don't need to work." And I said, "I need to work. I need to continue proving myself." And for example, I have a master's degree, and I'm starting right now at this age another one. So I think that we need to continue educating ourselves and continue growing as a person, and not being a mom. We know we are moms, but we also are human beings with a need to be somebody.
With those first few deals that you mentioned, like the example of that building, that important building in Mexico, how did you navigate the contract negotiation and kind of like the finalizing of the international law? Because that was in Mexico, correct?
Yeah.
How did you navigate that? What was it like finding the right person to help you do that?
Well, we struggled at the beginning because, having a Canadian company owning the building and not believing in the project. So it was good because they had some buildings in Canada with that system, but in Mexico they were like, can this be implemented here? So we hired a international law company that helped us with the project, with the contract. It was very expensive. I can remember that one of the most expensive things that we had to pay was the lawyers. But we had a strong contract with them, and also we have, because the business model is you have a contract with the building owner, but also you have to have contracts with the operators, the cellular operators. So cellular operators are also international companies, big companies, and we were like 5 people at that moment. So they were like, are you going to be able to implement it? But as I mentioned, having partners, the right partners, we had the equipment manufacturer was from Sweden, so they were also having projects like that. They implemented the Microsoft campus, so that helped us. Having all these big companies believing us, but also spending the money to be able to have the right contracts. And that's happening right now for us with the bed, because for the bed, we need the medical bed that I mentioned that we would like to implement here. We know that the patents are very expensive. The contracts, in the case that we work with a big hospital, will be very tough to negotiate, or also even to have a bed in a house and be protected that we don't get sued for something. So I know that the contracts and lawyers are going to be very important for our path in the future.
Yes. How you got introduced to that industry, or how you started that project?
The IBED?
No, the first one.
Oh.
I mean, the one for the cellular.
Oh, okay. Well, I had an agreement with this Swedish company. So since they implemented the first project here in the US with the Microsoft campus, I remember that we were driving in Mexico and seeing the construction of this tall building, and they told me, oh, that's a good project for us. So why don't you see if we can meet them and be there? So that was the first idea that came to my mind, that I needed to contact them and work through the Swedish company. But then we decided that we needed to Mexicanize the project, because the Mexican laws and everything, they didn't want to get involved on that. So they told us, we will support you with the equipment, but you will have to work with the contracts and the implementation of the project. So it was a mixed idea between the equipment company that they wanted to have the first project in Latin America and us pushing to make it through. So that was the experience.
Any more questions? Thank you, Pilar.
Thank you. Thank you.
At this moment, we'll welcome Ms. Lorena for our next presentation.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Lorena Montiel, and my husband couldn't be here today, but his name is Heriberto Muniz, and we're both owners of 956 Coffee. A little bit about us. We have 2 little ones, ages 1 and 2, and yeah. And I'm 24 years old, Eddie's 27, and I was born and raised here in Brownsville, Texas. So a little bit about our business and our journey. We are a specialty coffee company, and we started back in June of 2021. So we started off by selling cold brew from our home to our friends and our families, and then we started doing markets. So we did markets in Brownsville, in San Benito, in Harlingen, in McAllen, and we just started documenting everything. We downloaded Instagram, Facebook, and we are not social media people, so it was kind of a learning experience, but honestly, those tools we still utilize today. because it allows us to interact with our customers, and it allows them to kind of see who we are and see who they're buying from. So we started documenting everything, and then we started eventually catering. We got a catering cart, we got an extra espresso machine, and we started doing private events. And then we started doing city events. Last year we did Sombrero Fest. This year we did it as well. We did the livestock show in Mercedes, and we just started networking. We started meeting a lot of people. We started collaborating with different businesses. Right now we're at Curio 409. It's right here on 13th Street, and there's where we have our residency. So we also took the Kaufman program. Last year, Eddie came in and he did it in person, and he would go with me and I would study all the notes. So we took the Kaufman program, and there is where we kind of dove really deep into who we were as a company, the industry, just a bunch of knowledge that we didn't have before. And it was kind of just, we were able to answer why 956 coffee. And we were able to just conclude that coffee is a universal language to us. It brings people together, and it's been numerous occasions where two people come into the shop that don't know each other and they leave friends. So that's something we love to be a part of and we love to see. And why 956? Well, what better place to inspire you than your own home, your own community? And there's a lot of great coffee here, and something that we thought there was a need for was a menu specifically for our roots, from our roots. So for me and Eddie, it was kind of like awas. We kind of thought of that, and we kind of went back to our early dating stages. We would go on awa dates every Sunday, so it was kind of just a must to implement that into our coffee menu. And yeah, we have our rice and beans, which is our horchata with espresso. We have our Southern Bloom, which is our agave jamaica with our Ethiopian cold brew. We have our agua de coco, which we combine that with our espresso, and all of those are made from scratch. So as we keep on gaining more knowledge on how to implement those drinks into our coffee, our menu just keeps on growing and growing. Yeah.
How can we help you?
Well, yes. Well, right now, our future goals are to expand. So we're in Curio, it's a kiosk. So we are looking for somewhere. And that's mostly the hardest part, just to find something, because there's not really a lot of places that, are available right now. But that is the hardest part, just finding somewhere where we can be, where the market isn't oversaturated.
Any real estate?
So are you planning to purchase or to be renting somewhere, or you would like to be like, for example, inside the building? You're saying right now you're inside of the building. I don't know if that's the same business model that you want to keep using.
Our main goal is to have a place for ourselves. So just specifically for our coffee shop. Right now we collaborated with Curio 9, and that's going great. It's mostly like a kiosk in their event hall. So right now we want a building that we can have, that people can go to on our hours and everything like that. Yeah.
Is it your wish to stay downtown, or are you open to moving?
We definitely love downtown. That's one of the places that we're trying to work on the most. Downtown and central Brownsville. Yeah, that's what we're looking for most.
Well, where would you go
Yeah.
as a young female entrepreneur? What has been the best, that moment in your life? I love this, like satisfaction, rewarding for you.
I would say meeting a lot of great people. We've built a lot of friendships doing this, especially like with other female business owners, because I can kind of relate to a lot. And there's actually a lot of, a lot of just different ones. They range in age, everybody. It's just really cool to connect to different people and understand their problems and, kind of relate to a lot of things that they went through too. So.
You have a diverse menu of items.
Yes.
What inspires you in terms of like product design when you're coming up with these recipes? How do you decide to take it to
Well, what inspires us is we base it off of kind of ourselves. Like it sounds weird, but we kind of just we're like scientists kind of, and it takes many trial and errors, but it's kind of like, what would we kind of feel that would like balance with coffee? So with our Jamaica, we made it the traditional way with, the sweetener that it comes with usually, but we didn't really see it balance out with our Ethiopian cold brew. So we added agave instead, and we found that it gave it a really good transition to the cold brew. So it's kind of just like trial and error.
How is your family helping with the project and your kids? How are they seeing you?
Yes, well, they're really supportive. It takes a whole village. And I always kind of joke that I have 3 babies because the business is basically like our baby, and it doesn't grow overnight. It takes a lot of nurturing and takes a lot of sacrifice from everybody, from Eddie, me, our family that watches our babies. So they're very supportive. They're very proud of us, and they kind of they're rooting for us,
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much to both of our presenters. We're gonna have some time afterwards if you guys wanna mingle and ask them more questions and talk with them and get to know them a little better in their business. Again, this is our social media. Follow us every Wednesday. We do the live on YouTube, so you guys can go and rewatch it. Also, I know Linda wants to get some out. Yes.
Good morning, everybody. Oh, sorry. So tomorrow, it's our grand opening for eBridge. I expect everyone to be here. It starts at 3 p.m. We will have our grand opening ceremony. Then we will follow up with some sort of pitch type of event, so you can see a little bit about what we're graduating through our Kaufman Fast Track. And of course, then we're gonna follow up with a fantastic panel, sort of like a fireside chat with 2 very successful entrepreneurs that are from the Valley and that have been, wanna give back. So I invite you, and then, who are they? Okay, so I thought you were waiting to announce it. But one of our entrepreneurs that are gonna be here, his name is Josh Sanchez. He is the owner of Float Me. It's a company that has gone public, right? Yes, public. And he will be here to kind of talk about his journey. And the other entrepreneur, his name is Alberto Gomez, and he is the owner of, one of the founders of Iris, which is also a company that has been very successful nationwide. So they are not currently living in the Valley, but they're from the Valley and they want to come back and give back. So we're very excited to have them here and be kind of our inspirational panel for the next phase of what we're going to be seeing here at eBridge. So we welcome everybody to be here tomorrow. There's a party, there's music, there's food, there's drinks. So come and enjoy and celebrate with us. This has been such a journey for the UTRGV-ECC team and the BCIC team, and we're truly, and the city of Brownsville. So we are very excited to celebrate with you what has been quite a journey for us, and what's coming up next is really exciting. So stay tuned. We have a new Kaufman Fast Track cohort starting in a month or so, and we also have our startup boot camp, and we have an accelerator program. So, look it up online and find all the great things that are happening here. So have a great day. Network.